Hey guys, so today I'm going to be going through all of the books I got at the half-price book outlet. Shoot, it's not outlet. Ugh. Books I got from the half-price books warehouse sale. So half-price books, I went in and they gave me this card that said that they were having warehouse sale and it was $2 and below for every book. And I thought that was insane, so I had to go. I want to give a shout out to my boyfriend because he drove me there. It was like an hour and a half away from where I live, and he was really sweet to do that for me. But I ended up getting 15 books for $30, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys know what I got. So the first book I ended up getting was Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. I've heard a lot of negative things about this book. I looked up like reviews after we were on our way back home, and I have not found one positive review about this book. I know that there was a book made with Julia Roberts in it, based on, or a movie made by Julia Roberts. A movie. This is about Elizabeth Gilbert, and she has just gotten out of a divorce. Guys, what is happening? Also, I recorded this whole video and then my camera was out of focus. So this is about Elizabeth, and she has just gotten out of a divorce, so she visits Bali, India, and Italy, as she should, and she's trying to find what she likes in a man and find new things about herself. This seems pretty cool. I honestly picked this up because I've heard a lot about it, and I don't know if I like it, but hopefully I do. The next book I got is See Me by Nicholas Sparks, and this is thick, if you know what I mean. Like, literally 507 pages. Started this book. I listen to books while I'm at work because it's just easier for me while I'm cleaning, and guys, I'm only on 70%. And I worked an 8-hour shift, so this is my first Nicholas Sparks book I've ever read. I've seen all of his movies.
Gee, no dancing people wearing.
Hello?
I'm gonna stop by and get some gases. Do you want a panini or something?
Did you get me one of those for real milkshakes?
Yeah, what kind?
Chocolate.
Yeah, I will, baby.
Okay.
Alrighty, love you.
Love you, bye. If you guys don't know about those milkshakes, you're missing out. But yeah, I've seen all of his books, absolutely adore them. I'm a hopeless romantic, you guys all know, so obviously I'm gonna love Nicholas Sparks. But so far, I'm kind of into this story. Again, this is a really big book, so it's kind of hard to keep me engaged for that long, but it's about Colin and Maria, and Colin has had a very rough childhood. He has been a very aggressive kid, very angry child. So his parents send him to this, like, I think it's like either a private or a boarding school. But he gets in trouble with the law a lot. So his father makes an arrangement saying that he will be on probation, and if he does well on this, however many years of probation he's on, all of the charges will be dropped and he will not go to prison. Maria is the child of her father, who owns this Mexican restaurant, and her whole family works there, and she is also a lawyer. They end up creating a connection. If I had to give this book a rating so far, I'd give it like a 3 out of 5 stars because it's still a good story. It's just not leaving me on the edge of my seat. Next is He of the Moment by Lauren Barnholt. I have not seen this anywhere, but I seen that it was a part of a series. Like, there's 2 other books after this, One Moment in Time and From This Moment. And I looked up reviews and I couldn't really see any, so that kind of interests me a little bit. I also loved the cover, but this is about Lila, and she is on her senior trip to Florida with her boyfriend Derek, and everything goes wrong. She ends up having to catch a ride with Beckett, which is the school player back home, and she has to room with Ava and Quinn, which is her 2 ex-best friends, and she is waiting for this letter to come in that she wrote herself freshman year for when she graduates, and she is anticipating this letter. And I just think it's really cool because in 8th grade I wrote a letter to myself for after I graduate. I never got it though because I did switch schools, sadly, but I thought that was really cool, and I felt like I kind of related to this book in that aspect, so can't wait to figure out what's in that letter. Next is Chasing Sunsets by Karen Kingsbury. I will say a lot of the books that were at the sale were either very old or they were like movie to book adaptations or book to movie adaptations, which I kind of expected. I realized that not a lot of newer books would be there, but that opened me up to picking up books that I had never heard of before, which kind of scares me because I kind of go off of other people's recommendations and what's popular, so I'm excited to kind of get a new perspective of these books. But Chasing Sunsets is about Mary Katherine, and she is living in Los Angeles with her roommate Sammy, and her childhood has been a very happy childhood. She's living a very happy life, and she starts to gain a connection with Tyler, who is a local basketball coach. When everything is going up for their relationship, Mary receives information about her health, and obviously you can tell this is going to be a very sad story, so I'm ready for it. Super excited. Also, look at this cover, guys. Immaculate. I'm not a fan of the people in it, but the colors is so stunning. Like, I'm such a sucker for these colors. Next book is Lost and Found by Danielle Steele. Guys, look how tiny this book is. I thought that was so cool. I've never had a book like this, but these books remind me, like, if you guys have seen Stranger Things, when like Mike's mom is reading those books about like a sexy pirate or something like that, you know what I mean? I've never had a book like that. I don't know how I feel about it, but look how tiny it is. I love tiny things, it's so cute. Maddie, and she finds a box of old photos and old love letters, so she goes on this little mini road trip to talk to and see the 3 men who she's ever loved in her life, and that really reminded me of Mamma Mia. If you guys have seen Mamma Mia, that's my favorite musical, and the cover did too. But Danielle Steele, apparently she is a very famous author. I've never heard of her before, but after I bought this, I was thinking about it, and if you guys have ever seen Friends, which if you haven't, what are you doing? But Rachel is trying to write a book, and she says like, I want to write a book like a Danielle Steele book or something. I don't know exactly what she says, but tell me why I literally geeked over that. I was like, I have a Danielle Steele book now. Like, what is wrong with me? Just the fact that Rachel, like, her name came out of Rachel's mouth, like. Next is The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. If you guys haven't seen this movie, it's so sad. Like, I cried so much. I obviously picked up this book because I have seen the movie, and I kind of wanted to read the book and watch the movie, kind of have like a crying day, you know, fun crying day. But this is so sad, guys. It says, my name is Salmon, like the fish. First name Susie. I was 14 when I was murdered on December 6th, 1973. So this is about Susie, and she's basically watching from above and watching from heaven, watching her family react to her murder. She's also watching her killer trying to cover up her murder, and eventually she finds out that she is not his only victim. And this is a very, very deep book. And if you want to cry, I suggest you pick this up. I haven't read the book yet, but the movie is very sad, so I'm assuming the book's gonna be very sad. So when I'm ready to cry, I will be picking this one up. Next book I got was 6 Months Later by Natalie D. Richards. So at this warehouse sale, they had like a bunch of bins, but they also had like bookshelves, obviously. And this was in one of the bins, and tell me why I picked this up just because it had snow on the cover. I don't know if it's just me, but when it's summertime, I crave the winter. Like, not the winter per se, but like the fall vibes, you know? And when it is fall time, I crave the summer and the summer vibes. So then I read the back and literally listened to how interesting this sounds. When Chloe fell asleep in study hall, it was the middle of May. When she wakes up, snow is on the ground and she can't remember the last 6 months of her life. Before she'd been a mediocre student, now she's on track for valedictorian and being recruited by Ivy League schools. Before she never had a chance with Super Jock Blake. Now he's her boyfriend. Before she and Maggie were inseparable, now her best friend won't speak to her. Sounds like a very like young adult type book, like 13 through 15-year-old type range, but it sounds really interesting and I think I'm really gonna enjoy it. Next book I got was One Die. It sounded like, what is his name? Jenny. Guys, you know what I'm talking about. Forrest Gump. Also, guys, sorry for the bangs. I'm waiting for them to grow out. I really hate them, actually. A lot of people like them. They keep saying they like them, but I'm not a fan, so I'm waiting for them to grow out. But One Day by David Nichols. Guys, the cover of, like, not the cover, but the feeling of this book is like very shiny and I like it a lot. But this is also a movie, so super excited to read this and then see the movie because I have not seen it yet. And it has Anne Hathaway in it. I love her. But this is about Dexter, Matthew, and Emma Morley, I think that's how you say her name. And it's 1988 and they have just met and they spend one day together, hence the name. They obviously have a grand old time and they meet up with each other on the same day each year, which is July 15th. This reminded me a lot of November 9th by Colleen Hoover. Absolutely love that book, so I'm hoping this is a lot like it. I think I'm gonna be picking this up very soon. Super excited about it. Next book I got was 17 Summers by, I think it's by Mocking Dolly. I'm not sure. I think that's how you say her name. It's in cursive, so I mean I can read cursive, but it's in weird lettering, so I don't know. I don't know what is up with like the font of this book, but look at that August. I'm not judging, but that don't look very clean to me. I don't like that very much. I read reviews on this book. Not very many people liked it. Hopefully I will. But this is about Angie. This is kind of like a typical summer romance, but it sounded really cute and fun for summer, so I had to pick it up. But this is about Angie. And she says, Angie always thought high school romances were just silly infatuations that come and go. She certainly never thought she would fall in love over one short summer. But when she meets Jack, their connection is more than a crush. Suddenly, Angie and Jack are filling their summers with stolen moments and romantic nights. But as fall grows closer, they must figure out if their love is forever or just a summer they'll never forget. So it sounds just like a regular, typical summer love story. Hopefully I'll like it. It looks pretty fun. Next book I have is My Sister's Keeper by Jodi Picoult. I think that's her name. If I said it wrong, I'm very sorry. But this book has a movie also. I used to watch this when I was little. Me and my mom used to watch it a lot. So this movie kind of has a sentimental value in my heart. And it's a very sad story, but it's also a very loving story. It's about Anna. She has gone through this journey with her older sister, Kate. Her older sister, Kate, is going through leukemia and has been for a very long time. So as a result, Anna starts to feel like she might as well be sick because she goes through all of these tests with her. It says Anna makes the decision that for most would be unthinkable, a decision that will tear her family apart and have perhaps fatal consequences for the sister she loves. Another very sad story, a very amazing story. Excited to read it. A lot of these books I have seen the movie and I'm just excited to read the origin of the movie because the movie was so great. I figured the backbone of the movie would be just as great. speaking of, I got The Last Song by Nicholas Sparks. Love this movie. Like, this is one of my favorite movies. Obviously, I'm typical. I'm like every other girl. And The Notebook is my favorite Nicholas Sparks movie. Sorry about it, but it is. Already read The Notebook. Amazing. So good. But I got The Last Song, and I'm so happy that Miley Cyrus is on the cover of this because they are so cute in the movie. And if you haven't seen the movie, do you live under a rock? Because obviously you do. This is about 17-year-old Ronnie, and she moves to North Carolina in with her dad for the summer because she has gotten into a lot of trouble recently. So Ronnie is kind of rejecting her father, and she is having a very hard time at the beginning of the story because she does not do good with change, and she's kind of mad that her parents have gotten a divorce because she missed when things were all together. But then Ronnie meets Will, and they end up falling in love, and it is such an amazing story, guys. I'm so excited to read this book. I want to start reading this right now. When I talk about books, it makes me want to read them so bad. The next book I got was Friends from Home by Lauren Chamberlain. I haven't heard about this book either. It's about Jules and Michelle. It's about Jules and Michelle, and they have been best friends since the 3rd grade. Now in their mid-20s, the childhood friends live miles and worlds apart. I don't know, that's so, I feel like I relate to that so bad because I am 19, and a lot of the people I used to be friends with in childhood, you just go to different paths and you don't really talk to them as much, and it's so sad, but it's also so, you still have that love for them. So I'm super excited for this book. But it says, when Jules agrees to be the maid of honor in Michelle's wedding, she quickly realizes just how different the two have become. So they're trying to figure out if their history is enough to carry this friendship and if they're going to be staying friends or not. Sounds really interesting. Super excited. I feel like I'm really gonna relate to this book. Next book is so sad, guys. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. This is Marley and Me by John Grogan. Guys, so I have a Labrador Retriever. I literally talk about her all the time. There she is, that's Mia. But, guys, when I tell you it never fails, I cry every single time I watch this movie, and I have to read the book. I just have to. And am I the only one, or did you guys, maybe I'm just stupid, but I did not know that this is based on a real, this is John Grogan, guys. That's actually him. I thought that was just a fictional character, but I guess not, because look at his dog. Look at Marley. I can't do it. I'm gonna cry already. When it comes to dogs, I cannot. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. But this is basically about Marley, and it's a bunch of short stories coming from John Grogan, his owner. And Marley is a very destructive dog. He is very hard to deal with at points, but he's so lovable and you just love him so much. I'm gonna cry. I love it so much. I'm so excited. And then I got First Comes Love by Emily Giffen. This is about Josie and Meredith Garland, and I'm assuming they're sisters, and 15 years later, they have always kind of followed different paths. They're kind of opposites, and Josie is a 1st grade teacher, and her ex-boyfriend's daughter is assigned to her class. And Meredith is a successful attorney, and she has a husband, and they are raising a 4-year-old daughter. And an anniversary of very tragic events comes up, and Josie and Meredith uncover a lot of the secrets that they did not know about regarding to this event, and it kind of makes them grow a better bond. So I don't know, I'm really into best friends or sister books recently. I do not have a sister. I have an older brother that loves to make fun of me. So when a book comes out about that, I'm definitely getting it, because that is just an interesting dynamic. If you have an older brother that just picked on you your whole life, say it louder for the people in the back because I know what you're going through. And the very last book I got is also based on a movie. Very, very good movie, like amazing movie. Go watch it now, movie. The Help by Katherine Scockett. This cover is so beautiful. But if you do not know what this movie is, again, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but this is about 22-year-old Skeeter, and it takes place in 1962 Mississippi, and she has grown up with her maid Constantine, and during this time there was a lot of maids who were African American, and this was around the time racism and everything was going on. And when Skeeter gets back from Ole Miss, she realizes that Constantine kind of disappeared and she doesn't know what happened to her. And this hurts her very bad because she was very close with her. And this also shows the perspective of Aibileen, which is a black maid, and she's raising her 17th white child. So she raises a lot of these children and kind of feels like they're her own because she has taken care of them from birth. Aibileen has a best friend named Minnie, and she is like, she's very loud, not afraid to voice her opinion, and she is also a black maid. And Skeeter ends up making a book of all of these black maids' perspective in their life, and guys, this is so good. If you need to read this before, like, this should be on your bucket list of books, seriously. These are all the books I got. Can hardly carry them. That is all for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like me, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, loves.